Hello everyone. Today I have a knife made in Japan, a country well known for producing some of the highest quality and most durable knives in the world. First, I'll test the knife by cutting a sheet of paper. As you can see, the blade can't make a clean cut, and the paper tears with rough, uneven edges. This clearly shows that the knife has become dull and needs to be sharpened. In today's video, I'll repurpose a steel cable turnbuckle to build a unique knife sharpening tool. Will this homemade sharpener be able to restore the blade's sharpness? Let's find out together. Next, I secure the steel cable turnbuckle in a bench vise and tighten it firmly. Then, I use a cutting tool to cut along the marked section of the turnbuckle. This removes the unnecessary portion and shapes the turnbuckle for the knife sharpener design. Next, I use a wooden block as the mounting base. I place the end of the turnbuckle onto the wood and mark the mounting positions so the holes can be drilled accurately. After that, I drill 2 holes at the marked locations. These holes will allow the turnbuckle to be securely mounted to the wooden base. Next, I insert the turnbuckle mounting end into the 2 drilled holes and adjust it until it is properly aligned. I then brush away the wood dust around the mounting area to create a clean surface, allowing the adhesive to bond more effectively. In the next step, I apply super glue around the base of the turnbuckle to secure it firmly to the wooden block. This helps keep the turnbuckle stable, minimizes movement during use, and provides a solid foundation for the knife sharpening tool. Next, I place the knife on the wooden block and use a marker to trace along the edge of the blade. These marks help me accurately position the knife holder, ensuring the blade is properly aligned during sharpening. Then, I drill 2 holes at the marked locations. These holes will be used to install the knife holding mechanism. In the next step, I use a plastic zip tie as a guide for the sharpening tool. I position the zip tie alongside the 2 drilled holes and carefully adjust it to align with the knife blade. Next, I trim off the excess length of the zip tie to keep the tool neat and prevent it from interfering during use. Once it's properly aligned, I apply adhesive to secure the zip tie to the wooden block. After that, I use 2 metal washers and screws to create a knife-holding mechanism. This assembly securely holds the blade in place, minimizes movement, and helps maintain a consistent sharpening angle. I install each component into the drilled holes and tighten the screws securely. Once the holder is assembled, I place the knife between the 2 retaining points and tighten the screws to lock it firmly in place. This keeps the blade stable and ready for the sharpening process. Here I have a double-sided sharpening stone with number 240 grit on one side and number 800 grit on the other. Each grit is designed for a different stage of the sharpening process. First, I use a ruler to draw 2 diagonal lines across the surface of the stone. The intersection of these lines marks the exact center of the stone. Next, I secure the sharpening stone in a bench vise by tightening it firmly. Then, I drill a hole at the intersection of the 2 diagonal lines. This hole will be used to install the guide rod for the sharpening stone. In the next step, I cut 2 sections from a wire clothes hanger to obtain a straight metal rod. This rod will act as a guide, allowing the sharpening stone to move smoothly while maintaining a consistent sharpening path. After that, I insert the metal rod into the drilled hole in the sharpening stone and make sure it is properly aligned. Next, I sprinkle a small amount of baking soda around the edge of the hole to act as a filler and improve the bond. Then, I apply super glue around the joint to firmly secure the metal rod to the sharpening stone. Next, I begin sharpening with the number 240 grit side. This coarse surface is ideal for restoring the cutting edge of a dull knife. Before sharpening, I spray a small amount of water onto both the sharpening stone and the knife blade. The water helps reduce friction, carries away metal particles, and keeps the stone working efficiently. Then I place the sharpening stone against the knife edge and move it back and forth along the entire length of the blade. Thanks to the guide rod, the sharpening stone maintains a consistent sharpening angle, allowing even pressure across the entire cutting edge and producing a sharper, more uniform blade. During the sharpening process, I make several passes using light, even pressure, and spray additional water whenever the stone begins to dry to maintain optimal performance. After finishing one side of the blade, I switch to the opposite side and repeat the same number of passes, ensuring that both edges are sharpened evenly and consistently. Next, I switch to the number 800 grit side of the sharpening stone to refine the cutting edge. I repeat the same sharpening process as with the number 240 grit, moving the stone smoothly back and forth along the full length of the blade, using even pressure to create a smoother, sharper edge. Then I loosen the retaining screw, flip the knife over to sharpen the opposite side of the blade, and tighten it back into place. I repeat the sharpening sequence, starting with the number 240 grit and then finishing with the number 800 grit, ensuring that both sides of the blade are sharpened evenly. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss my latest videos. After completing the sharpening process, I wipe the blade clean with a cloth to remove any remaining water and metal particles. As you can see, the blade now has a bright polished finish and a much sharper cutting edge. Now, I'll test the knife by cutting a sheet of paper. As soon as the blade touches the edge of the paper, it slices through smoothly, producing clean, straight cuts without tearing. This demonstrates that the cutting edge has been successfully restored. For the next test, I'll use the knife to cut 2 oranges. The blade glides effortlessly through the peel and slices the oranges cleanly with very little force, showing that the homemade sharpening tool has effectively restored the knife's cutting performance. It's amazing that with just a steel cable turnbuckle and a few simple materials, I was able to build an effective knife sharpening tool. A knife that couldn't even cut through a sheet of paper can now slice paper and fruit with ease. I hope this project inspires you to repurpose everyday materials and create useful tools of your own. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more DIY projects, repair tips, and creative experiments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.